Good evening. My name is Megan Napolitano. There is a popular trend that's been growing for decades and is still growing in popularity today. People pay a professional to puncture their skin in various areas of their bodies, depending on that person's request. Most of the time, it can be a painful process and take up to a year to heal afterwards. The name of this trend? Body piercings. Body piercings are a popular form of personal expression for many people, and if done correctly, will be something you can admire. I only have a few, my ears, my cartilage, and my belly button, but I've done my research before getting each one. If you're considering getting a piercing, there are 3 things you should consider first. Be prepared to commit to that piercing. Know the risks involved, and go to a trained professional. Even though they can be removed if you decide you don't want it anymore, they could leave a scar. So now that we're prepared to commit to this piercing, let's learn about the types of risks involved. There are different risks involved with different types of piercings, and I'll go over them with you so that you're prepared. As I said, the risks will vary depending on the type of piercings you get. And there are 2 types of piercings. A traditional piercing that goes through one end and out the other, such as an ear piercing or a nose piercing. Some people can also get it through their tongue as well. There's also a surface piercing. A surface piercing is any piercing that is threaded under the surface of the skin and back out the other side, creating a small hole, such as an eyebrow piercing or a belly button piercing. Both sound painful, I know, but the pain usually only lasts for a few seconds, plus healing time. Surface piercings, however, have more risks involved. The risks involved with getting a surface piercing include infection, migration, and rejection. Infections are common with cuts and wounds, which is exactly what a piercing is. You've just paid somebody to create a small hole in your body. It's an open wound. It needs time to heal. It could get infected, but with proper cleaning, it can be treated. However, it's important to remember not to remove the piercing if it's infected, or it'll trap the infection under the skin, creating a whole more problems. Migration means when the piercing is healed, the hole may have moved slightly from its original placement. It could have started up here and is now migrated all the way down to here. Rejection is when your body heals by creating layers of skin underneath the piercing, eventually pushing the metal out of your body. I know somebody that had rejection happen to them because they were unaware of the risks. The skin thinned around the piercing and slowly pushed it out, creating a large scar, and it could have been prevented. We are now prepared to commit to this piercing, and we know the risks involved. Now we can go get it done. Before we do that, we need to make sure that the piercer is a professional. Make sure your piercer is licensed to pierce. You would not trust somebody examining your body if they weren't a licensed doctor or a licensed nurse. Look them up. Do they have good reviews? Make sure. Many shops have websites, and they post pictures of piercings that they have done. I looked up my piercer when I got my belly button done and saw many pictures on their site of people that also had it done. One thing that's important with getting that type of piercing is making sure that it's centered and straight. And those pictures allowed me to see that my piercer would do just that. And, thankfully, she did. In addition, I also looked them up and was able to find many positive reviews. If you look your piercer up and they have many negative reviews, don't go to them. You don't want to be somebody that has to write another negative review to warn others. Listen. Make sure the shop and the piercer is clean. When you go to the shop, if the shop doesn't appear to be clean, or the piercer does things like reuse needles, leave immediately if you see any of that. You don't want to change your life in that kind of way. In other words, you might be getting more than a small piece of metal to decorate your body, and it could be contagious. In conclusion, piercings can be a fun way to express yourself, but there are important things to consider. Be prepared to commit, know your risks, and go to a professional. I know that many people think that getting a piercing is no big deal. But I hope that my speech has shed some light on the safest way to go about getting one. Because, if not done correctly, it will be a big deal. Thank you.